fishing news is brought to you by Navionics, Okuma, Yozuri, Evinrude, Llama Glass, and the Star Island Yacht Club in Montauk, New York.
Hey, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. Well, here today at the Niantic River, came out, did a little blackfishing from shore, didn't land anything, had a couple of hits. Haven't fished down here for blackfish in a while, so it was just figured I'd give it a shot. Talked to a couple of guys. Guess the bite has been a little bit tough in here of late. Did hear some success back on opening day, but as you're going to see, overall blackfishing's been pretty good this week. But I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Now, to start off, I'll let you know the November issue of the Fisherman magazine is out this week, and there's some huge news contained within this issue. In addition to some great local editorial coverage, of course, as you would always expect in November from us. As for fishing, we got the fall staples like black sea bass, blackfish, of course, as well as a little piece that I wrote on fishing in dirty water in the surf, something that has been, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, pretty common in recent weeks, no small part to the storms that we've seen. You can obviously find this copy, the November issue, in your mailbox, your newsstands, or right now digitally online at thefisherman.com. And of course, regardless of which edition you subscribe to, New England, New Jersey, Long Island, you get access to all three editions digitally. So be sure to check that out. Take advantage of everything that you get in a full paid subscription to the Fisherman magazine. All right, now for that big news that I alluded to just a moment ago. If you haven't already read the story yet, then you might want to check this out. We, the Fisherman magazine, along with our friends at Navionics and Gray Fish Tag Research, as you recall, tagged a post-spawn striped bass from the Hudson River, mouth of the Hudson River, back in May. Once that tag was attached, the striped bass plotted a pretty interesting course. It began nothing special right off the bat, went a little bit south down to New Jersey, then it went back up to Long Island. Okay, all seems pretty square, but then it took a strange turn. It went east-southeast out into the canyons, and not just on the edge, it went way out. It's amazing how what this track showed the fish did. Eventually, the tag popped off as it was supposed to. It drifted north, ended up actually coming into Cape Cod Bay, and was it touched ground on shore on a beach up in Sagamore, Mass. Was retrieved. So we actually had the hard data coming directly out of the tag itself, all of the waypoints, temperature, depth, etc. Literally millions of data points, which we ended up plotting. As you can see, you can read the full story at thefisherman.com, as well as in print. It shows all of the information. A lot of people have been saying, the fish got eaten, the fish swam around in the canyon as a tuna or a shark or something. We can, with almost 100% certainty, confirm that through the thousands of tags like this that have been used in the past, knowing how to track the data, that is not the case. This fish swam on its own out to the canyons. Now, of course, it doesn't mean every striped bass does this. It is just one fish. But if nothing else, it's really cool that we were lucky enough to tag a fish and it went out there. So again, check out thefisherman.com and stay tuned. We just got the other tag back a couple of days ago. We just began processing it. So we're going to have the findings from that, which I don't even know yet. We're still going over the data. It will be announced in the December issue of the Fisherman magazine, so stay tuned for that. Okay, one more item for you on the housekeeping side of things today. We started a campaign, it began in October, loosely calling the 3 R's of striped bass. Take a look at the logo here. If you didn't see it yet, you'll see the words release properly, reduce mortality, and rebuild striped bass. With the concerns of excessive release mortality, fish which die after being caught and released, which came out of the 2018 Atlantic striped bass benchmark STOS assessment, release mortality and ways in which this number can be reduced by recreational anglers has been at the forefront of many of our minds. It was determined that the majority of harvested, those fish that die every year, are from recreational fishermen, catch and release. The fish die after the fact. So we here at the Fisherman magazine have begun this campaign to promote different ways in which you can properly handle and release the fish. Of course, if you want to keep the fish, there's nothing wrong with that. We're simply talking to those of you who choose to release a fish, whether it's because it's undersized or you just don't want to harvest the fish. So give it a look. And of course, if you've got any other suggestions for us on ways that we can assist in promoting this campaign, other ideas, concepts that we can work with, be sure to drop the comments down below here at YouTube and let us know what you think. All right. Moving on to the reports. Once again, it's mostly about blackfish this week, as you'll see, so I'm going to get into the non-tog stuff first. Start with freshwater. We got an update from Tim Moore of Tim Moore Outdoors. Wasn't able to shoot a video, but he sent me an email saying the Lake Winnipesaukee crappie bite is insane right now. Repeat clients Paul and Heidi experienced 2 solid days of non-stop action, fishing along with Tim out on the lake. Most days the fish are feeding all day long. There's usually some really big fish in the mix, as you can see from this picture. I mean, those are some mega crappie. Those things would probably eat any crappie I've ever caught in my life. So he said he's catching them in 30-foot basins using little 2-ounce plastics on a 1/8 ounce jig. So super small finesse action going right there. But Tim figures his bite is going to continue until ice in. If you got interest fishing with Tim, check out his website, timmooreoutdoors.com. November 10th is going to be his last day for the fall season of guiding, and then he's going to pick up back once again January 10th for the ice season. So he's got an ice guide up there in Winnipesaukee. He does a lot of really cool stuff, so give it a look. All right, moving over into the salt. Despite those recent string of storms that I referenced a moment ago, and anybody in New England and Northeast knows about, bluefin bite off the Cape Cod has remained really good, and the bait fish are hanging tight to shore, which is benefiting both small and big boats because it opens up a lot more opportunities for guys to get out on them. A couple weeks ago, I got a photo from Fisherman subscriber and past Dream Boat Challenge Grand Champion, Vinny Deletta. He said he was up on the Cape not too long ago and landed a hefty 500-pound bluefin for his efforts. Congrats, Vinny. All right, continuing along here, we are going to jump into those Blackfish reports. There's a lot of them this week. Start off with the biggest tog of the season I've heard of locally just yet anyway, and it was landed on the 7BSV sailing out of Point Judith, Rhode Island. Angler Big Don boated a massive 19-pound tog on Saturday's trip. Now, since this fine catch, the guys over at 7Bs made a pretty cool announcement. They said that for the remainder of this season, anyone on board the boat who lands and decides to release a blackfish in excess of 16 pounds will receive a free tog season pass for the rest of the year. Of course, if you want to keep the fish, nothing wrong with that, but they figure, hey, why not try to release some of those bigger fish? So good luck to anyone who gets in on that deal. Next up, on the Blackfish scores, longtime Fisherman contributor and subscriber Al Ramiero sent me a photo of one of several big blackfish that he and his brothers landed over the weekend while fishing in Buzzards Bay. I've been getting some really good reports of blackfish in Buzzards Bay the last couple of weeks, and the November issue just so happens we've got an article that talks about fishing for blackfish off of Westport, Mass, right in the heart of Buzzards Bay, so give it a look. And I also got, let's see, next up, heard email from regular video contributor Lawrence Thompson. He was out on the Francis Fleet over the weekend along with his son and a bunch of their friends. He said that they had a great outing. They loaded up on some excellent eating fish. We got some big black sea bass and a load of blackfish. I'm sure they've been eating well all week long. Speaking of eating well, with all these blackfish catches being made lately, it's probably a good time to redirect you to one of my favorite recipes we've got posted at thefisherman.com. This recipe, which is called Drunken Blackfish Stew, was passed along to me by Rhode Island surf fishing legend Dennis Zambrata. And it was given to Dennis by the late Chuck Crafty Angler Vitri. You can read the whole story on how we got this recipe, where it came from, at thefisherman.com. And I gotta admit, it takes a little bit of time to prepare it correctly, but it is well worth the effort. And next up, received an email from another longtime Fisherman Magazine subscriber and regular video contributor, Tony Ronaldo. Tony fished Rhode Island this week for blackfish along with one of his friends, and they limited out on fish to about 8 pounds. And the fish you see here took Tony deep into the rocks and didn't want to come out. But he used a trick that I've heard of. I haven't luckily had to put it to use myself, but I've seen it in action. You get a big blackfish stuck deep down in the rocks, and as Tony did, pop the bail open, give that fish slack. It apparently gets confused, thinks that whatever it was connected to is let go, and often enough it swims right back out. You're able to then, obviously engage the reel, kick it back up, and land that fish. So hey, if nothing else, it's worth a shot when you got one of those big blackfish that goes into the rocks. Okay, that's it for the tog reports. I got one quick video contribution this week from Dave Bocaz down in Rhode Island.
Thank you, Toby. Coming at you from a rock in the ocean somewhere, middle of the night, where I've been grinding it out. It's been about 3 weeks now. No decent night bite whatsoever. I'm fishing spots where I've had tremendous success in the past, and I'm here to let you know that there is no night bite for the past 3 weeks. I managed a schoolie around 12 inches a few hours ago, and fishing all night. Yeah, with nothing to report, nothing good here. The sunrise from the beaches, sunset, lots and lots of schoolies. that's not bad at all. But in regards to big fish from my rocks, there is nothing. I've tried everything. SP minnow, bottle darters, super strikes, Mike's Customs, SP minnow. Did I say that already? Everything, man. I've tried everything. I've tried it twice, and there is nothing going on at night lately. I'll update you if it changes, but in the meantime, that's all I got for you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Dave. Always appreciate those contributions from you, the video, photos, emails, whatever you got, send them along. That was pretty cool little shot there. Dave standing out in a rock in the middle of the night in the surf, something I see quite a bit, but a lot of these viewers out there don't get to see. So unfortunately, not much of a bite going on right now from the surf in South County, but nonetheless, there's a lot of small fish to be had, just nothing big. In any event, as always, I'm Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, wishing you tight lines if you head out onto the water this weekend.
Win the incredible Steigercraft Evinrude Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package and more in the Fisherman's 2019 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details now at thefisherman.com.